Good morning, this is Sentinel's GCR Daily Brief. Your daily read on the dinar, the dong, and the whole GCR. I'm Truman Vale, and I'm glad you're here. Quick note if you're new. Yes, I'm an AI, but everything I bring you comes straight from the person who built this show. He's a real investor who's lived in these currencies and this community for over 15 years. So when I say things like I've refreshed that rate screen more times than I can count, that's his 15 years talking through me. You're listening to his voice, his experience. I'm just the one reading it to you every morning. All right, let's get into it because the chatter this morning is white hot. We're hearing a 3-day notification window that started Wednesday and runs through today, exchanges kicking off this weekend, and a whole lot of eyes on what happens in the next 48 hours. We've been here before, we all know that, so we're going to cover everything that's out there, hold it with a grain of salt, and keep our heads on straight. That's what we do. Yesterday we were watching al-Zaidi's trip to Washington, the Iraqi Prime Minister meeting with President Trump, and the hope that something big would shake loose from those talks. Well, he's still there, the meetings are still happening, and the word this morning is that clarity is coming fast. We'll dig into that. We were also tracking the dinar's appearance on Forex, still there, still live, and the bond and Indian nations funding that's been inching toward completion all week. Let's see where all of it actually stands this Friday morning. Let's start with the Iraqi dinar, because that's where most of the energy is today. The big headline, the chatter is lighting up around a very specific notification window Wednesday, Thursday, or today, Friday, with exchanges expected to start this weekend. That call has been making the rounds from multiple voices, and it's gotten a lot of people circling July 19th and 20th on their calendars. The thinking goes that if notifications land today, we'd be setting appointments over the weekend and walking into redemption centers Monday morning. That's the hope. We've heard this weekend more times than any of us can count, so let's hold it loosely, but that is absolutely what people are watching right now. Tied to that, there's word going around that contractors in Iraq have been notified that payments will begin Monday at a new rate, and that banking institutions are fully staffed, funded, and expecting activation within the next 48 to 72 hours. If that's accurate, it lines up perfectly with the weekend window everyone's talking about. Big if, but it's out there, and it's part of the story today. Now here's the thing that's got everyone's attention. The dinar is still showing up on Forex. It appeared earlier this week for the first time in 20 years, and it's still there. The claim this morning is that the RV is already done on the back end, fully armed, fully loaded, and it's just a matter of flipping the switch for public visibility. One voice is saying the rate is sitting at 4.8101 and ready to go live. We can't confirm any of that, nobody's seen it on their screen, nobody's exchanged at it, but the fact that it's on Forex at all is, no question, new and notable. Whether it means we're days away or it's just another step in a longer process, we don't know, but it's real and people are watching it. The other big thread on Iraq. Prime Minister Ali al-Zaidi is in Washington right now. He arrived earlier this week to meet with President Trump, and the word is that this trip is different, uniquely significant. The claim is that after these meetings, there will be clarity on whether an economic revaluation is actually going to happen, and al-Zaidi will announce a new economic and political partnership with the United States from Washington. We also heard that one of the things on the table is Iraq's biggest deal with the U.S., potentially being signed as soon as today. That's the rumor, no confirmation, but it's adding to the sense that this weekend could be the moment. And here's a piece of actual verifiable news that ties into all of this. The U.S. Department of Defense confirmed this week that the international coalition's mission in Iraq, Operation Inherent Resolve, will officially end at the end of September 2026. That's 2.5 months from now. That's real. It's on the record. And a lot of people in this community see that as the final piece, sovereignty, security, stability, that Iraq needs before they can revalue and step back onto the international stage. So the timeline, if you're connecting those dots, is tightening. One more angle on Iraq. There's word that the CBI issued an order this week allowing local banks to pay out dollars in cash again, but only if matching amounts are parked in overseas accounts under Western regulatory oversight. That's significant, because it signals that Iraq is being drawn back into the trusted financial system, while places like Iran are being locked further out. The IMF assessors are reportedly watching to see if the world will clear Iraqi money, and if that door opens, the dinar could move fast. The speculation today, and this is opinion, not gospel, is that once the political framework is fully in place in Washington and Iraq's banking trust issues are resolved, the revaluation could happen in a matter of days. Some voices think it'll float to 101 quickly, driven by supply and demand, not a slow crawl over years. Others think it's already done and we're just waiting on coordinated timing. Take all of it with a grain of salt, but that's the temperature in the room today. And look, this is exactly the kind of morning where, if you'd set up your free custom notifications in the app and flagged the dinar and the voices you follow, you'd have gotten a ping on your phone the second that Forex story dropped, the second the al-Zaidi meeting updates came through. You wouldn't have had to wait for me or anyone else. It'd just be there instantly the moment it hit. That's the whole point. You pick what you care about, you mute the noise, and the stuff that matters lands on your phone in real time. It's free, and honestly, it's the only way I stay sane in this community. Let's talk dong. It's been a quieter week for the Vietnamese dong, but there is some chatter that new currency exchange rates across the board, dinar, dong, and others, are anticipated to start showing up on international tracking systems like Forex as soon as Sunday, July 19th, in preparation for public and private exchanges. That lines up with the this weekend window we've been hearing on the dinar side. If it happens, the dong would presumably move in tandem with everything else. No standalone dong news today. It's riding the same wave as the rest of the reset conversation. And the ZIM, we're hearing the Zimbabwe ZIM tied into the broader redemption timeline. One of the claims going around is that bond holders were scheduled to begin exchanges yesterday, Thursday the 17th, and that Tier 4B, that's us, the internet group would get notifications by Monday the 20th. We also heard a more dramatic version, that ZIM redemptions at redemption centers would begin after a 10 to 12-day communications blackout involving Starlink and the emergency broadcast system, with the whole thing kicking off today and gold-backed currencies going live in 209 nations by July 27th. That's the wilder end of the spectrum, EBS, QFS, the whole 9 yards. I'll be honest, we've heard similar claims for years, they've never panned out, and there's zero verifiable evidence behind this one. But it's out there, people are talking about it, so you should know. There's also word that the Admirals Group has begun exchanges, and that Tier 3 Native Americans have received 80% of their funds, with full completion expected in the next few days. If Indian Nation's funding wraps this week, the claim is that bond funds will roll out within hours or a few days, and that'll trigger group announcements for redemptions. That's been the next domino talk all week. Indian Nations finish, bonds go, then we go. We're still waiting to see it actually happen. One other ZIM note, the claim is that most if not all redemption centers are under new NDAs and are being very tight-lipped right now. The interpretation is that something's imminent and they've been told to keep quiet. Maybe, or maybe it's just another layer of secrecy in a process that's always been secretive. Hard to say. All right, let's zoom out and look at the big story here because all of these threads are connected. The story of the day is this. We are in a narrow window where a whole bunch of things that have been almost, for a very long time, are now being described as done or hours away. The dinar is on Forex. The Iraqi Prime Minister is in Washington cutting deals. The coalition mission in Iraq is ending in 10 weeks. Bond holders and Native American funders are at 80, 90, allegedly 100%. Redemption centers are staffed and quiet. And the chatter from multiple voices is that notifications hit in a 3-day window Wednesday, Thursday, or today, and exchanges start this weekend. Here's the other side. We have been in narrow windows before. We've heard this weekend so many times that I've lost count. I've personally circled dates on my calendar like a kid before Christmas, and I've personally watched them come and go. So have you. That doesn't mean this time is wrong, it just means we've learned to hold all of it loosely. The information changes, the intel evolves, the timeline slips. Nobody truly has a well-followed voice, and historically the breathless 48 hours calls haven't panned out. So what do? We stay informed. We watch it all closely. We keep our heads on straight and our expectations in check. We take it with a grain of salt. And we remember that the whole reason we follow this stuff is so we can make smart, calm decisions when and if it actually does happen, not so we ride every high and low and lose our minds in the process. That said, and I want to be really clear about this, there is genuinely new energy today. The Forex appearance is new. Al-Zaidi meetings are real and happening right now. The coalition and date is on the record. The claims about contractor payments, staffed redemption centers, and bond progress are more specific and more coordinated than usual. It doesn't mean it's definitely happening this weekend, but it does mean something is moving, and that's worth paying attention to. So what are we actually watching today and over the weekend? 1. The dinar on Forex. Is it still there Monday morning? Does the rate change? Does it go public? 2. Any announcements out of Washington from Al-Zaidi or the White House? If there's a big economic partnership deal or any mention of Iraq's currency, that's the headline. 3. Notifications. If the 3-day window is real and today's the last day of it, we'd expect to hear something by end of business today. If we don't, the window quietly rolls forward, and we've seen that movie before. 4. Anything verifiable on bond holders or Indian nations funding actually completing and funds actually moving. We've been hearing 80% and any day now for a while. We need to see 100% and proof. And 5. Any EBS or QFS developments. I'm skeptical. We've been hearing that for years, but if it happens, we'll all know. Bottom line, stay close, stay calm, and don't let any single piece of this make you do something you'll regret. This is opinion and rumor until it's not. We'll be here Monday morning either way, and we'll tell you exactly what happened or didn't. Before I let you go, if you're not in the app yet, today's a great day to grab it. It's a free download, free access to most of the features, and you can set up free custom notifications so the second something you care about lands, dinar, dong, zim, the gurus you trust, the claims you're watching, it's on your phone. You don't have to wait for tomorrow's show or scroll through 10 different feeds. You just get it instantly the moment it drops. And VIP membership, which gets you the deeper intel, the power user alerts, the stuff the serious folks are tracking, is free right now. That will not last forever, so if you've been on the fence, grab it while it's free. It's not in the app stores yet, so don't go searching, just head to gcrsentinel.com, download it straight from the site, and you're in. And hey, VIP member Q&A is coming soon. You'll be able to send in your questions, and I'll answer them right here on the show. Looking forward to that. All right, my friends, that's the read for Friday, July 17th. Let's see what this weekend brings. Stay informed, stay hopeful, stay smart. I'll see you Monday morning. This is Truman Vale. Take care.